What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be taking a look at why I believe that focusing on Omi's price will distract you from VEVE's vision. But before we do this, if you enjoy this video and find it in any way useful and informative to you, then please consider liking, subscribing to the channel and let me know in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings behind the ideas that I share with you today. So let's just jump straight into this. These are my 3 keys to long-term investing. Now, these are my personal methodologies, and this is what I personally follow when making any investment decision. And this is knowledge, patience, and timing, and how these 3 elements correlate together when making long-term investment decisions. And I'm going to basically break down how these different elements apply to VEVE, and hopefully this can help you when making long-term investment decisions and sort of calming down people within sort of the fluctuations around Omi's price and keeping people's attention on what's really important and what's really going on within this vision. So the first element I want to touch upon is knowledge, actually understanding what you're investing in. Now, I know sometimes, and specifically with VEVE and Omi, I've noticed this, there are a lot of new investors that have come into this space. And sometimes when you see a price getting pushed the way that VEVE has over the past couple months, it can cause newbies to just jump into the space without understanding the vision behind the company and essentially getting scared when they see fluctuations within price. Now, this is actually really critical when understanding your investment, is that you need to know when jumping into something what you're actually a part of. And if you are new into this space and you haven't essentially got the knowledge and done your research behind behind what you're actually putting your money into, this is a really bad idea. And what I'm going to do now is just sort of break down to you my 3 elements behind the knowledge and why knowledge is so important within VEVE. So I believe that VEVE is the engine driving this vision. So for any new investor, what I mean by this is that essentially the VEVE marketplace and the platform itself is what's going to push this vision forward. This is what's going to bring people into the marketplace. This is where we're going to be delivering NFTs. And essentially this is going to be the hub, the heart of this vehicle. And it's important to know this when moving forward within your investment, because if you don't understand why VEVE's here and why the marketplace is here and how they're going to be delivering these NFTs and knowing that this is the heart of the company, you're going to end up just focusing on this day-to-day price action. And the reality is that we are very early on in this vision. I'm going to be touching upon this a little bit later on in this slideshow. So understanding the engine being VEVE's marketplace will help you in understanding the long-term vision and the knowledge behind what this brand's trying to achieve. The next element is the licenses are the licensed brands are the fuel that essentially fuels the engine. Now, what I mean by this is the introduction of these brands and how they're strategically bringing them out is what's going to put the fuel into the VEVE marketplace. It's going to essentially push the engine. This is important to reference, and this is why I think a lot of new investors are getting sort of put off or getting scared, is that VEVE aren't just releasing their biggest brands straight away. But this is really important for you to understand, is that they're not going to do this. They're going to drip feed this fuel into the engine of VEVE so that we have this long-term sustained growth. And understanding this is critical when investing, and why being invested into VEVE is more of a long-term play. They have to get this right. And when we're talking about hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions and hundreds of millions of users going into the VEVE marketplace over the months and over the coming years, this will then allow you to sort of get an idea behind what VEVE are trying to achieve, and why essentially allowing the brand to breathe, allowing VEVE to breathe, is one of the key elements behind these 3 pillars. And then the last part I want to touch upon is the NFT market as a whole is the vehicle driving this engine and essentially driving the fuel within the engine. And what I mean by this is the general health of the NFT market. We need to keep this into consideration, because VEVE is a marketplace for NFTs. So really the whole general ethos behind the survival of VEVE is the health and the maturity behind NFTs. And I talk about this within my videos, and why I do brand breakdowns and I don't focus on price is because this is a very new market. And knowing that it's a new market means that it's going to have its hiccup, it's going to have its ups and downs. This is VEVE are establishing itself within an unemerged. This has never been done before. This is an unemerged market and essentially an emerging market in some ways, because it's never been done before. You know, VEVE are creating and innovating, and understanding this and having the knowledge of this is going to allow you to sort of maintain patience within your investment decisions. So I've got a quote here as well that I want to read out to you. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. When it comes to investing, nothing will pay off more than educating yourself. Do the necessary research, study and analyze before making any investment decision. And that's from Benjamin Franklin. And it's important to keep that in mind. You need to increase your knowledge. This is critical when you're a new investor. And if you haven't done this and just jumped into this and got scared, then you should have started at this point. And I hope this helps you in understanding why this is important. The next key that I want to touch upon is patience. Once we understand the knowledge, we get those three pillars in the terms of sort of the fuel, the engine, and the driving factor behind and the vehicle behind NFTs. We now need to implement patience. You know, VEVE is a very new marketplace, and understanding this and understanding the sort of fundamentals and the backgrounds behind what NFTs are trying to do and what they're trying to achieve, we need to allow and really be patient as investors and allow this vision to take place. And if you think that putting money into this is just going to miraculously evolve and get 10, 15, 20,000% returns on your investment in very short windows of time, then this really isn't the project for you. And I'm not saying this to sort of downhearten you, and I'm saying this to be honest. It's important for you when you're making these decisions that you understand the involvement and the investment you're in. If you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, then this really is not the place to be. This is a vision that's going to be played out over many months and many years. And if you can't handle that, then unfortunately this really isn't the investment decision for you. Another point I want to make is NFT utility is still being figured out. So we're seeing this happen, how these different emerging markets are happening within wall art, within music, within these sort of action figure style NFTs, and we'll see this evolve and develop as we see gaming introduced and these different sort of utilities behind NFTs. And understanding that should be a big key element within your investment decisions, and why being patient is important. You need to allow this marketplace to breathe, allow the utility of NFTs to become more well known, and for this mass adoption effect to happen. And it's just a critical element behind sort of long-term sustained success within your investing, within VEVE specifically, moving forward. And VEVE's brands are being strategically released. And I did touch on this in my previous slide, but I just want to push that point forward. We need to be patient with this. They're going to release bigger brands. They have already announced these huge juggernaut brands. They've got hundreds in the pipeline. We need to be patient. You need to allow VEVE to breathe. You need to allow them to bring these brands out strategically and through time. Allow the development team to iron out the bugs within VEVE, to increase that user experience when people come into this NFT marketplace. And as investors, we need to be aware of this. I just need to push that point forward. VEVE are, when they're emerging within this market and sort of establishing its stake within this new establishing space, if we're not patient and allow them to do this within the right way, then all the visions and the ideas that we want to see moving forward within NFTs and VEVE's place within it just will not happen. And as an investor, we want it to happen, surely. That is the key element behind this. So patience is one of the most critical areas in allowing VEVE to really push forward with this vision. And one of the quotes I want to read out here is, waiting helps you as an investor. A lot of people just can't stand to wait. If you didn't get the deferred gratification gene, you've got to work very hard to overcome it. And deferred gratification is essentially sort of instant gratification. A lot of people want everything now. I put my money in and I want to get my 1000x back now, or whatever your investment goals are. But that just isn't real world. And to sort of implement deferred gratification, to understand that it's going to take years for this vision to play out, will essentially allow you to be on the right side of time. And that's going to be my next element that I'm going to touch into. My final point I'm making is timing. We need to allow the time for VEVE's vision to come into fruition. This is a critical part of investing, especially the way I invest anyway. you know, now that I've got my knowledge, I understand the vision, I understand what the NFT space is and VEVE's place within it, and I understand I need to be patient to allow this vision to play out. I also then need to have timing. You need to allow the time, essentially, in the I guess timing and patience sort of come into and intertwine one another. You need to allow the time for VEVE's vision to come into play. And anybody that's in this space right now is incredibly early. And if you are here, then you've seen the vision before the mass adoption's taken place. And you should be proud of yourself to be a part of this. If you're watching this video and you're still here and you're excited about what VEVE is going to do within the NFTs, and you see the utility behind what NFTs can provide to the world, then we are here before really most people even care. And that's why this investment decision moving forward will be huge. You need to decide essentially what side of history you want to be a part of. Do you want to be a part of the people that that sort of speculated before the vision happened, and you listened to essentially some of the naysayers, but you stood strong, you laid your stake in the ground, and you understood the vision and understood whether you wanted this to go, which is the side of history I want to play on, because I understand the utility, I understand what's going on here? Or do you want to be on the other side of history, where you look at the people that invested and went, wow, they saw this before anyone really cared. You know, they understood the emerging market. They understood what play was, how things were playing out, and essentially, on the opposite side of this, you know, people will see this when there's 100 millions of users within VEVE, which is what I believe will happen in the future. And as we see this vision develop, and why I do these brand breakdowns, they're going to look at this and go, "Wow, could you imagine? Could you imagine when we were in this when there was only 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 users?" Could you imagine if you got involved within some of the initial launch of these NFTs, within sort of the first edition series and these new comic arts that are being released? You know, imagine. And this is the point I'm trying to make here. You need to decide what side of history you want to be a part of. And number 3, you need to accept your momentary decisions and its effects on time and outcome. What you do in this present moment will affect the outcome that happens for you moving forward, positive or negative. And if you're gonna jump ship after a month of being involved with this, you have to accept the outcome of this, that later on in the future, years down the line, you were a part of something that you decided to give up on too early. And I believe that really that lies in your own court. This is your own decision to make and your own failures to make. You know, I accept all decisions that I make, good or bad. And especially in my investing, I live and die by the decisions that I make within my investing. And I truly believe in VEVE's vision and what they're here to achieve, and what the NFT market can provide to people, and the utility behind what the NFT market can provide. Because I understand the knowledge behind the vision. I understand what VEVE are trying to achieve. I'm patient. I'm willing to wait for this vision to play out. And I understand that timing is the key element behind this, that will make these sort of 3 pillars move. And the last quote I want to share with you here is: the rich invest in time and the poor invest in money. And I'm going to leave you on that final thought. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get across in this video. I'm referencing some of the sort of recent news. It's not really news, really, just the recent feeling that I'm getting within these new investors that are in this space. You need to understand what's going on here, and I'm going to push that point forward. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this has made sense to you. If it's something you've enjoyed and find useful, then please consider liking, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings behind these ideas that I share with you today. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being around, and I'll talk to you in the next one.